Hello everyone and welcome back to TGR, that's Gaming Robo. Now today guys we're going to be showing you a couple of different formations that would work really well for you guys if you are managing a lower league club. So without further ado guys, let's start it. Let's show you the first of the two formations that works well within the lower leagues. So this is the first one. The first one, I call it the three-man defence. Now the reason being is I'm trying new inventive ways to try and work out whether or not if using wing backs if it's actually the best thing to do on this game. Now, as you can see clearly looking at the formation page here, that I'm not using any wing backs or full backs. I'm not using any wingers. I'm literally solely just playing straight through the middle of the park. So, as I call it, the 3-1-3-1-2 formation. Now, I've done the with ball and without ball instructions as well. So don't worry, I will be going through that with you guys as well. So, first of all, before I go into the without ball instructions, team instructions. So I've put it as an attacking mentality, mixed passing, purely because, you know, during the course of the game, I like to try and change things up depending on what the scoreline is. Tackling, I like it preferably as normal, but playing in a lower league type style of play, I've noticed that having a harder tackling regime, it seems to work a lot better for me personally, but you know, who knows. Pressing, I always go as a pressing type of play. I guess it's just the aggressive type, you know, it's just aggressive play, isn't it? Offside trap, I always go with yes. Purely because when you see the with ball, without ball, you'll notice how I place my three central defenders, which will become apparent to you guys, of course. Counter-attacking, no, because I'm attacking anyway. I don't see the need in having a counter-attack mindset if you're already attacking anyway. And men behind the ball, I never have men behind the ball. I always make sure we try and push up as quickly as possible. So, the main thing, obviously, that you guys want to see, apart from, obviously, the formation itself, is the with ball, without ball. So let's show you that right now. So we'll start with the with ball. So as you can see, I've tried to make it out as that if I've always got three men within my penalty box, obviously, as you can see, the three central defenders. So I made sure that it's only really that the defensive midfielder who's really trying to stay clear of the defensive sort of duties and try and push the ball further up the park. Exactly the same on the other side, of course. In the middle, now, you might find this a little bit weird, but with this, I haven't actually changed the defenders, defensive midfielders, and the midfielders, because with the ball, because when you're playing with a lower league team, I have found that if you have the players too spaced out, it causes you problems, especially when you're within your penalty area. So I've made sure it's kept quite compact, and obviously you've got the two attackers with the attacking midfielders there to push the ball out as ready as it can be. So pushing up the field, as you notice, then I've changed it slightly to try and give it a little bit more width. That attacking midfielder should be there. So the two central defenders, as you can see here, they're on the 18-yard line box, but one of them has pushed up ever so slightly with the defensive midfielder there, and I've made sure that the three centre midfielders are there purely because it keeps the balance of the midfield guys there, and obviously, of course, if they lose the ball, it's already compact, so they've got nowhere to run, and obviously it can get pass right on to the attacking midfielder. Once again, I'm not going to show both sides. It will reflect on either side, okay? So in the middle, once again, I've pushed the defensive midfielder up, right up the backside of the central midfielder, purely because, once again, I'm just always so concerned when losing the ball, it comes back to bite me in the backside quite a lot. So I've always made sure it's basically right up the arse of the central midfielder. So up here, as you can see, once we're pushing over the centre line, the middle of the park, I made sure that basically all three of my players, of my centre defenders, sorry, are pushing right up against that line, and that they are able to play the offside trap, which is the main thing, of course. You know, if we're able to use an offside trap, it's along here majority of the time where it actually gets used. Obviously, defensive midfielder there is able to pass to the three central midfielders that are there to help back up that middle of the park. And once again, it reflects on this side. So once again, I've made sure that my two strikers now are pushing right up against the goalkeeper. So basically, you can class it as goal hanging. Yes, it comes across. Yes, it comes with a lot of offside goals. It does happen, but at the same time, you do score a lot of goals as well. And with that attacking midfielder on the penalty spot, it's in perfect position, perfect view of all of the through passes that you can do, obviously going through the player instructions, of course, making sure that the attacking midfielder has through balls capabilities. Now on the top here, as you can see, my three central defenders, I won't push them too far away from the middle of the park. They will always stay around the middle of the park area to make sure that if a counter-attack does happen, obviously we've got those three guys ready to run back. Defensive midfielder, once again, right up the backside of the central midfielder, given that extra support. And of course, now the attacking midfielder is now basically marking the goalie. And in the centre here, a little bit more spaced out, a little bit more picturesque, so to speak. But at the same time, it's obviously we've got the ball, we're in the main part of the area, so why not push a little bit more attacking-minded way towards that box, with obviously the defenders dropping just slightly behind that line, ever so slightly, of course, with the defensive midfielder added bonus, obviously with the extra protection as well. So if we're going to go back down here with the without ball section now, and you'll notice that it's obviously going to be very compact, because obviously the only way to obviously try and stop an attack is by keeping everything compact. Obviously man marking with obviously having your options here ready in case. Now once again, everything reflects on the same side, so all you got to do if you want to copy these tactics, you just go reflect and it goes on to the other side. So in the middle of the park, middle of my goal area, you can see it's so compact, it's so pressed, you won't be able to breathe in there, let alone, an attacking team. So with that, you can see that it'll be very hard to try and get a shot on goal, which is the main important thing. I'll never put anyone on my own line, because I might as well just say there's no point of having offsides on the game. So I'll make sure that they are on the 6-yard box, and that's as far as I'll let them go, because anything other than that, then, like I said, there's no point in having offsides. So the next box here, my three central defenders are on the 18-yard box. My defensive midfielder just above one of them, with the three central midfielders next to him. The attacking midfielder just outside there, just in case if it ever does come into action, whereby he can get the ball back to himself, and then he gets the free balls into the two strikers. Quite simple. Once again, throughout the middle of this park, you'll notice, if I just show you all across here, that it is all majorly compact, because I want to make sure that it's hard to try and penetrate the heart of the team through the middle of the park, where it's so hard to try and penetrate it, you cannot do so with it basically acting like a brick wall, basically. So the next line up here, a little bit more defensive, you can say, but once again, I'm also trying to keep in mind of it with the opposition team, if I can talk properly, the opposition team, if they use a counter-attacking deploy. So that's another thing that you have to be wary of course, but at the same time, maybe it's a little bit too defensive on my part. Okay, yeah, that might be the case, but at the same time, I don't wish to be caught on the back foot, so to speak. And lastly, as you can see with the last without ball box here, obviously it's a little bit more opened, a little bit more free, so to speak, but within these two boxes here, sorry, I say these two boxes, these three boxes here, it is a little bit more compressed, a little bit more compact, but at the same time, you've got the added bonus of if they do, let's say they try to do a long ball, it goes into this part, or they do a long ball, it goes into this part. You've got, obviously, players here that's able and willing to actually intercept the ball and potentially have the chance to counter-attack and score. But that's the three-man defence formation. Now I'll show you the other formation that I used, the one that I used during the Torquay United Zero to Hero campaign, which is what I'm doing at the moment. Season 3 will be out shortly, so don't you worry, it will be coming up shortly. But let me show you the other formation that I use. You would have seen this one before in one of the other videos, 4-1-2-1-2, the second half formation as I call it. So I do have the flat back four, the two central midfielders, obviously no defensive mid, the attacking midfielder here, and three strikers. Now, generically, don't get me wrong, I do think it's really, really attacking, and it can cause you a lot of problems, and it can open a lot of can of worms when it comes to, obviously, defending. But at the same time, you're going to score a hell of a lot of goals as well. So it's weighing up the options. Okay, you might concede 50 or 60 goals in a season in the lower league, but you could well score 100, 110, 120, 130, and so on. To me, that does feel better. You know, it sort of does make you think, okay, well, if I do concede 60 goals, okay, not an issue because I scored double that. Do you know what I mean? So that's the reason why I do like to do the attacking sort of minded procedure. But going on to the team instructions, this is how I've played it on here. It shouldn't be counter-attacking, that's for sure. So attacking mentality, long ball, normal tackling, and pressing, yes. That's how I like to play it with this formation here. So the with ball, as you can see, you should be just there below the centre forward. As you can see, it's a little bit more spaced out, not as compressed. But then again, this is the with ball section, so I'm trying to give it as many options as humanly possible to obviously go out and obviously score. Now on here, I think I know why, because I saved it again with him having an arrow running. But basically, the attacking midfielder, I always try and put it in between the box and the forward here. But yeah, so once again, it's really, really spaced out. But that's because obviously I'm using the fullback section rather than just trying to keep everything compressed into the middle of the park. Once again, you're not going to see much changes here when it comes to the with ball section. And finally, with this side of the attacking park, with this side of the with ball box, you'll notice obviously I'm pushing 4 people basically right up against the goalkeeper, and I've got my 2 central midfielders and my fullbacks pushing up on that park here. But in the middle, you'll notice it's literally the same throughout, but at the end, you've got the 2 fullbacks coming up as the 2 centre-backs, obviously staying in the middle of the park here. So the without ball section, as you can see, going back to the line, it's going to reflect on both sides, so I will only show just one side, of course. But my flat back 4, once again, they're not getting any closer than the 6-yard line. I've got my 2 centre midfielders that are quite close to each other, one just outside the box. But with the attacking midfielder on that edge of the box, ready to pass it out to my 3 central strikers that hopefully will be ready and willing to run towards the goal to hopefully counter-attack and score. But when it comes to this part of the box, I haven't made them move any further forward purely because I'm trying to keep it quite compressed when it comes to trying to regain the ball back as quickly as possible. And the same here, but with the defence, I've started something with this where was in one of my episodes of the Zero to Hero, I actually managed to not concede half as many goals by keeping my flat back four, unfortunately, quite defensive minded back towards the goal, of course, but using my forwards with my midfielders to actually try and regain the ball, but at the same time using this sort of structure, it does hit their fitness, their condition quite a lot more, because obviously you're using these guys a hell of a lot more to do, obviously a lot more work together. And obviously up there, I made sure that my centre midfielders are not going, higher up. My attacking midfielder will stay behind slightly, where it's obviously the striker's job to try and reclaim that ball. But in the middle, once again, you'll see at my defensive area, it's very compressed, it's compact, but obviously you've got a little space here in the middle. That's purely because obviously I'm playing with 3 strikers up front, so I'm trying to get a little bit more dynamics, a little bit more exposure to obviously try and create more chances. But with the next box, you'll notice that I will use them to obviously try and get the ball back as quickly as possible. And you'll see the same again with the midfielders dropping backs this time, but the attacking midfielder and the 3 forwards will try and use that area to reclaim the ball. And then lastly, the attacking midfielder will come back slightly, and it's all to do for the 3 forwards. But that's it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it's actually been informative for you guys. I hope if you do use it, please let me know. I'll be really interested to know. If you need any more information about the with ball, without ball section, I'll be more than happy to help you guys with that. Not a problem at all. So please make sure you do leave a comment below. But if you do like the video, guys, please smash a like on the video. And of course, if you are new to our channel here at TGR, that's Gaming Robo, make sure you hit that subscribe button at the bottom right of this video. Apart from that, guys, please make sure that you do see on the side of this video here what videos are coming out shortly. So please make sure, obviously, you keep in mind with those that are coming out soon. Other than that, make sure you hit your notification bell so you know exactly when the next video has been uploaded. Apart from that, guys, I look forward to seeing each and every one of you at our next video. So thank you very much for giving me your time today. TGR, that's Game and Robo saying thank you very much.